A check I just picked up for $84,554 and a little story about it and a couple lessons that you can clearly learn from it. How you doing, everybody? I'm Scott Jelnick with Master Investor Academy, where we cover the 5 pillars of real estate investing. That's marketing, wholesale, rehab, rentals, and raising private money. And today I'm doing a video for you on this check that I just picked up and exactly how it came into play and some lessons you can definitely learn from it. Now, first off, I want to tell you that this $84,554 is not profit. I know a lot of people like to run around and show you these big checks and make it like you just made $85,000. That is not the case. That is not profit. I ended up spending $65,000 or a little over. I'm going to get into it. So there's about $17,500 profit in this check. So let me just tell you that right up front as a disclaimer. I'm not saying I made the whole 85. So I'm going to tell you the story and tell you what happened with this particular deal, why it was an oddball amount, and why I didn't make what I should have made. So first of all, I got this call on a Monday morning, and apparently this person had called me in the past, and this was a return call, and he had been waiting to sell, and he was finally ready that Monday morning. So he called myself, and I wasn't the only one he called. I didn't know this at the time. So he called me, I went out for my appointment, I offered $61,000. I followed up, as I teach everybody to do. On Tuesday, he said no, he hadn't made a decision. On Wednesday morning, I called him and I asked him if he had made a decision, if there's anything I can help him with. He stated that if I would go to $65,000, he'd be ready to do a deal. So I agreed to $65,000 and I drove immediately out to his house and signed the paperwork. We were ratified. The next morning, I had told a couple people about this property. I was going to wholesale it for $85,000, making a $20,000 assignment fee. The very next morning, I'm at the bank getting a certified check for another closing, and he calls me while I'm at the bank. And he tells me, "How you doing, Scott? Remember that contract we did yesterday? I'd like to see if I can get out of that. I got another offer. Another investor came out and offered me $80,000. And I said, well, I'm at the bank right now. Let me give you a call back. I'll talk to you about an hour. So I'm stressed now. I know I have this thing sold. I can make $20,000 on it, and now he's trying to pull it out from under me. So I get back to my office and I call him and I have to have a difficult conversation. And this is why we do the last step in our buy process where we call it clarification and solidification. Well, I had to tell him, sorry, this is we have a bona fide contract. I can't get out of it. You can't get out of it. And we are going to go through with it. Now, the reason that this is for the oddball amount is because of that situation. I did not want to wait and assign it like I would typically do and just get a $20,000 even check. Because of that circumstance, I actually closed on it immediately just to make sure there was no more hiccups with it. And then I ended up still selling it for the $85,000. So I ended up with $17,584 in profit. $2,415 of that was just wasted money I paid on double closing costs, title insurance, and paying on buyers' closing costs and sellers' closing costs when I bought and I sold. So the valuable lessons from it. So I still ended up making $17,584. It was still a good deal. Everything is still great. 2 valuable lessons to get out of it. Number 1 is speed. Speed wins. That investor who called him back on Wednesday, I spoke with him after the fact. Well, he actually called him also on Monday, same time he called me, but he never called him back until Wednesday evening. I went out there right away Monday, then I called him again on Tuesday. I wrapped it up Wednesday morning. After I wrapped it up Wednesday evening, this investor who was also called Monday called him back. If he had called back on Monday, the same day that I went out there, he would have clearly had the deal. So lesson number 1 is speed wins. Lesson number 2 is solidifying your deal when you're done. If I had not solidified it, I would have felt horrible in telling him that he could not get out of this deal because now he's leaving money on the table that he wouldn't get. But before I leave, if you guys have ever followed my buying process, before I leave the house, the very last thing I do as I'm at the door is I hold it up and I say, are you 100% sure you're comfortable with doing this deal? Because if you're not, I'll rip it up right now. Once I leave here, I can't get out of the contract and you can't get out of the contract. I make sure I tell them that. This way I don't have to feel bad if in fact a situation like this arises, because I told them that day, once I leave here, this is done. Neither of us can get out of it. Very important to make sure you tell people, be straight with them and let them know, once you leave here, this is a done deal. Don't wait and somebody else tells you they're going to give you more money and now all of a sudden you're supposed to just give it up. I would have been walking away from $17,500 if I just turned it in. So that's all I wanted to share with you today. These are 2 very valuable lessons and I hope you guys get a lot out of it and actually play it to heart. Scott Jelnick with the Master Investor Academy. I hope you get some value out of this and I will see you on the next video.